Welcome back to Momo Recaps. Today, I'm gonna explain a Hindi language crime thriller film titled Drishyam 2. On October 4, 2014, David Braganza was bringing cocaine to a dealer in the Indian state of Goa. For the benefit of his family, David claimed he wanted to quit being a drug courier and transition to a better, more conventional profession. But the dealer banned him and refused to even pay David's money. David was frantic to get the bag carrying the medicines back after being treated in such a manner. The conflict followed. David, who was about to be shot, was able to take the dealer's gun and shoot him, but sadly, the patrol police who were passing by at the time witnessed the occurrence. Carrying the bag, David swiftly fled across the forest. David was being pursued but was able to get away and made it to the newly constructed police station. David unintentionally witnessed Vijay Salgaonkar burying Sam, the kid of Meera and Mahesh, the former inspector general, at that same moment. After that, David went back to his home and told his wife Mary to quickly pack things and take their child to flee without giving a reason. But all of a sudden, the police arrived and surrounded the house. David eventually became a suspect. Vijay and his family were able to avoid being charged with murder 7 years ago. Sam's body was hidden beneath the floor of the new police station until today. Nobody knew. Due to his passion for movies and his success as a cinema owner, Vijay had the idea to produce a movie. His two children, Anju and Anu, as well as his wife Nandini, showed their father a lot of support. Shiv and Jenny, a neighboring couple who frequently quarreled, lived there. For many years, Shiv, who was unemployed and frequently intoxicated, would constantly ask his wife for money. He wouldn't even think twice about using violence to get what he needed. Observing this, Nandini urged Vijay to separate them because Jenny frequently assisted in caring for Anju when she was ill. Shiv blasted Vijay when he attempted to break up their argument and even claimed that Vijay's family was responsible for the murder of Sam, the former inspector general's son. Vijay advised Jenny to contact the police after Shiv was evicted so they could help warn Shiv about his history of domestic violence. As per usual, Vijay stopped into Martin's pub and was greeted by locals who believed he was a murderer. Vijay then headed to his small business office. Vijay kept an eye on the security camera that had recently been set up inside and outside of the workplace, the theater, and his office within the theater. Together with his employee Jose, Mahesh, Sam's father, arrived unexpectedly when Vijay later arrived at his workspace in the theater. Once a year, he took a flight from London to India for his son's funeral service. He went to see Vijay to ask him where he buried Sam's body so that he could conduct the funeral service using his son's remains, but Vijay remained mute and refused to bring up the subject because it had been resolved 7 years earlier. Following that, Vijay had a meeting with experienced writer Murad to go over the movie script he had written based on Vijay's real-life experiences. The following day, Vijay celebrated his daughter Anu's birthday by taking his family out to dinner. Even though Vijay is very busy, he still serves as a father figure and a husband who genuinely loves and cares for his family. His humble demeanor also helped him make many of friends. Savio, a gravekeeper, is one of them. Vijay had been incredibly generous to him throughout their friendship, even paying for his daughter's wedding and school expenses. Mahesh and Meera, on the other hand, were attending a funeral ceremony. Because Sam's body was never discovered and Vijay also had the perfect alibi, Meera, who was Vijay's mother, has yet to forgive him for the murder of her son. That evening, Vijay met Galib, a different acquaintance, in a bar. Galib had been promised a later role in the movie by Vijay. According to Vijay, the book version of the movie's plot was written and only a few number of copies were printed in order to maintain copyright. Meanwhile, Nandini brought Jenny, a neighbor, over to the house for chit-chat. They were having so much fun talking to one another that Nandini almost blurted the long-kept family secret, how they killed Sam, out loud. The cops arrived unexpectedly the following morning, clearly setting Anju into a panic. Vijay reacted as usual while reassuring her not to be worried. It revealed out that the police were called because Jenny reported her husband's behavior, and they were aware that Vijay and Nandini had made the complaint because Shiv frequently engaged in domestic violence. Shiv was given a warning by the police to stop what he was doing and that he would be arrested right away if another complaint was made. Anju has experienced frequent nightmares and even PTSD, which frequently results in seizures, ever since the incident with Sam's murder, which she unintentionally committed in self-defense. When David, a former drug courier, was released from prison, he immediately went to his home to make amends for abandoning his wife and children, who lacked the resources to meet their basic necessities. David made the decision to go out and look for work. When he got to Martin's pub, he inquired about any openings. Martin quickly suggested that he ask Vijay, but sadly, Vijay had not yet announced the opening. David had a suspicion that he could have seen Vijay before, but he couldn't put his mind to it because he hadn't seen his face in 7 years. That evening, Vijay saw Galib in his office once more and they had drinks till Galib was quite inebriated and passed out. Due to their long-standing friendship and mutual confidence, Nandini finally told Jenny what had happened to Sam while they were conversing at home. However, she made no mention of Sam by name. Gaitanda, the dishonest policeman who had been fired 7 years prior for mistreating Vijay's family, was picked up by Sawant, a police officer, in a different location. They were both called to see Taran Alawat, the new inspector general, who was a very eccentric genius with his own method of thoroughly investigating each case. Soon after, Mira and two intel, who later identified themselves as Jenny and Shiv, arrived. It turned out that Taran and Mira had been close friends since their days in the police academy. When she took over for Mira as Inspector General, he began looking for any information about Vijay. The strategy was conceived when they both learned that Vijay was selling a portion of his land. Shiv and Jenny were instructed to behave as a family of domestic violence for the past 2 years after Mira purchased the land under Shiv's name with the intention of building a house. Jenny was repeatedly urged to assist Nandini in getting closer to Nandini. In addition, Jenny always recorded their conversations, and the two of them had covertly placed tappers throughout Vijay's home. Eventually, last night, Nandini revealed to Jenny that only Vijay knew the location of the body because 7 years earlier, before the police dug the grave in their yard, Vijay had secretly moved the body somewhere else. Taran returned the following day to retrace the events that occurred with Sawan and Gaitonda 7 years before. Sam passed away on October 2nd. Vijay came home the following day, on October 3rd, and submerged Sam's car at the abandoned mine to allay suspicions. Then, to bolster his alibi, Vijay produced fake evidence to hide the date of the incident, including the bus tickets, the ATM security camera footage, and the receipts that he had somehow tampered with. Then, while everyone was asleep on the evening of the 3rd, at around 1 in the morning, Vijay shifted Sam's bodies. Vijay left for home at precisely 4:30 in the morning, and Taran knew pinpoint the same moment because his family left an hour later to board the bus to Panaji. Vijay absolutely needed 2 hours to dig and bury the corpse in the 3.5 hours he had, which meant he had to travel 90 minutes to get there. Therefore, Sawan and Gaitonda were instructed to interview people who worked early in the morning today within a 45 km radius to determine the travel route, since the farthest he could travel within that allotted time is roughly 45 km from his home. Even though Taran offered a significant reward to anyone who could help with the case, no one witnessed it and nobody even remembers that it happened 7 years ago. Then Sawant learned that one of Vijay's neighbors, Subhash, attended an annual theatre event that took place on October 3rd and lasted till after midnight. Subhash recalled seeing Vijay go for home in a jeep somewhere between 4 and 4:30 in the morning when they inquired about it. He could definitely recall that because he had just returned from buying an inhaler for his wife, who had developed sudden asthma, at the time. He claimed to have seen Vijay return from the shortcut to his workplace. Karan concluded there were far too many places Vijay might have relocated the body. He was aware that Vijay would hide the body in an odd location. He then came up with a scheme to guide them there. When Vijay wasn't home at the time, Taran went to visit Nandini and her 2 girls instead. He announced himself as Mira's replacement as Inspector General. He claimed that his only motivation for visiting them was to engage in friendly conversation, but everything he said, such as how much he detested seeing an innocent person punished while the guilty party is allowed to live freely, terrified them. He said their family was a law-abiding family and thanked them for caring about Jenny and Shiv's domestic abuse situation. Soon after Taran had left, Jenny hastily arrived and informed Nandini that Sam's body was about to be searched for at the church they believed to be where it had been buried. She requested that Nandini inform her husband. Already terrified, Nandini quickly contacted Vijay to tell him to come home. Then, in their bedroom, she told Vijay about it. It turned out that Taran had just done this as a ruse to get Vijay to reveal the true location of the body's burial. Shiv and Jenny could hear their chat on the other side thanks to the tappers they had previously set up in their room. Vijay advised Nandini to be composed. Vijay behaved coolly and continued to keep the location to himself rather than succumbing to the enticement. Taran's strategy failed. Thereafter, Vijay revealed to Sawan at the police station that his family was being indirectly tormented by the police since they were continuously suspecting them of being guilty. In contrast, David was on his way to Panaji since he had secured employment there, but not before stopping at Martin's pub. There, he overheard some men discussing Vijay's case, which the police were re-investigating. They believed that Vijay had cleverly moved the body somewhere, and one of the men said that the police had asked many people if they had seen Vijay on the night of October 3rd 7 years prior and would pay large sums of money to anyone with reliable information. David overheard it and was fascinated, but since he wasn't yet aware of what he had overheard, he simply departed to catch his bus. However, as he was waiting for the bus in front of the police station, he noticed Vijay leaving, which brought back memories. Finally, he realized that on October 3rd, 7 years ago, while being pursued by the police, he had witnessed Vijay burying Sam's body and had exited the scene at precisely the same angle as he did now. David reported it to the police right away, claiming to know where the body was hidden. He was met that evening by Mira, Taran, Gaitonda, and Sawan. David stated he would reveal the location after he had already earned the reward. David informed them that the body was buried just below them, beneath the police station's floor, after accepting the reward. That is why Vijay was so self-assured. Nobody would have predicted that he would bury the body directly beneath the police station. It took Taran no time at all to take care of the office's excavation permit, and the work was completed early in the morning. The workers dug far enough, and the cops eventually located it. Sam's human remains were eventually discovered. He and his family were set to leave Vijay's residence. Before leaving, Vijay looked at the security camera. He observed large people and a police station that was draped in green from the video. After learning that the police were doing an excavation there, Vijay quickly called Jose and advised his wife and daughters to remain inside. He pledged to constantly and at all costs defend his family. Vijay noticed that other cops had brought the boxes containing the bones to be cleaned and taken to the forensic lab at the same time. Meera and Mahesh met Taran in his office after several days of waiting for word from the forensics. The skeleton was identified as belonging to a male between the ages of 15 and 20 who had a crack in his skull and had been declared dead as a result of head trauma, a feature that was similar to Sam's. However, Taran still needed to test the DNA by sending the bones and also requesting Meera and Mahesh's blood sample to match them. Based on these conclusions, the judge gave the police permission to question Vijay's family for 8 hours. Soon after, Vijay and his family visited the police station to undergo questioning. The witness who witnessed Vijay bury Sam's body at the police station was identified by Taran by displaying David's photograph. Then Meera arrived with her two informants Shiv and Jenny and played the tape on which Nandini's voice could be heard claiming that Vijay had moved the body. Vijay was brought in by Taran for a private interview. He questioned him about who killed Sam, the motive for the killing, and how it was carried out. But Vijay remained steadfast in his denial that he or his family had any knowledge of the crime. Then, after asking Gaitanda to bring Vijay's family, Taran tortured them in front of him for lying. In particular, Vijay pleaded for the torture to end since Anju might suffer epilepsy. The abuse continued until Anju began to experience seizures. After seeing his daughter in that condition, Vijay gave up and pleaded for the torment to end. He promised to be completely honest. Without Taran's knowledge, Vijay's confession was recorded, but what he confessed was different from the original occurrence, which happened on October 2, 2014, when Nandini and her two kids were out for a walk and Vijay, who was home alone at the time, spotted a teenager sneaking in. Suspicious, he struck the teenager with a stick till he fell and hit his head, instantly killing him. Fearful, Vijay buried the teenager's body in the yard, but he soon relocated it to the police station because he thought it was safer there. It wasn't until later that he learned that the teenager was Sam, the son of the former Inspector General, Meera. Taran was successfully duped by Vijay, who also created an alibi to protect his family. Following the confession, the press visited Vijay's home. Vijay made an effort to calm Nandini down as she accused herself of accidentally revealing the information they had been keeping secret. Both Anju and Anu were terrified. The next day, word quickly spread that Sam's body had been discovered and that Vijay was being investigated for the crime. The senior writer, Murad, was shocked to learn the confession. Vijay was taken to court in the meantime for a trial. Murad arrived at the beginning of the trial to meet Taran, Meera, and Mahesh in the office. He was there to share information regarding a crucial aspect of Vijay. 2 years after Sam's absence, in 2016, he had his first encounter with Vijay. Vijay addressed himself as Vijay Godbole rather than Vijay Salgankar. Murad was unaware at the time that Vijay was the culprit who had eluded capture in Sam's killing. Vijay met Murad to discuss the script that would become a movie. Murad was greatly captivated by this incredible tale and readily agreed to work on the writing. Vijay stated that he had a demand that the movie's script be approved by all parties before shooting could begin. The narrative of a young man named Yatin, who was adored by his father Ram, was depicted in the Vijay film. He was once with his girlfriend at a party. Suddenly, a different teenager approached and made advances toward his girlfriend. Yatin reprimanded him for flirting with her, but the youngster didn't seem to mind. Then Yatin struck him right away, starting a brawl. It turned out that the youngster was a well-known contractor's son. The child made the decision to meet Yatin at his home since he didn't appreciate the way he was treated. The argument flared up once again before Yatin accidentally pushed the teen aside, causing him to strike his skull and pass away. Ram was frightened when he spotted his son after just getting home. He discovered the teenager's lifeless body and buried it right away in the father of the deceased's brand new building that was being constructed to safeguard his son and family. Ram then pretended to confess in order to spare his family. He acknowledged that he had killed the boy to protect his son. Essentially, the storyline mirrored Vijay's life. Murad claimed that Vijay had restrictedly published the story into a book a year prior in order to preserve the copyright. Even though Vijay was the one paying for it, the book was published under Murad's name, and the bill for publication included his name as well. The judge watched Vijay's video confession at the same time as his counsel explained to the court that the confession video was necessary because his family had been tortured in front of his very eyes. The account in the book, Drishyam, which was published under Murad's name, is precisely the same as the one in the police statement. As a result, Vijay's case was entirely made up by the police, who just adapted the narrative from the book. The human skeleton turned out not to be Sam's once the DNA test results were quickly received. Taran was growing furious in his office as a person who had only completed elementary education once more managed to con the cops. He questioned Murad about the movie's conclusion. Murad went on to say that Vijay wanted the main character to triumph at the movie's conclusion. Then Vijay queried Murad about his familiarity with the police. He inquired as to the workings of the forensics. Then he discovered that forensics would ascertain the fundamental details about the body and later send the body for a DNA test. Vijay tried to look for news about a murder that had similarities to Sam's after learning that the body was buried beneath the police station and that the police would eventually uncover it. He became acquainted with Savio, the grave caretaker. After discovering the body, he earned his trust by assisting him during his trying moments. He learned how long a corpse would remain a corpse before becoming a skeleton from Savio. Vijay once assisted Savio in paying off a debt that he had. He requested Savio for assistance to obtain the skeleton he required for the purpose of his job after earning his trust. He already had Savio's trust, so he decided to lend a hand. Additionally, Vijay made an effort to approach Galib, who turned out to be the forensic lab's security guard. He learned that Galib was a bad drinker as soon as they first met in the bar. He frequently bought him drinks, and over time, he also won his trust. He learned that Galib wanted to be in a movie and later promised him a part in it. Finally, he had the card to play. Vijay had prepared the skeleton to take the place of Sam's actual skeleton on the fateful day when the cops discovered his remains beneath the police station. He retrieved it out of a concealed storage area behind his desk in his office. Vijay utilized his relationship with Galib to get entry to the workplace when the police brought Sam's skeleton to the forensic lab. He then gave Galib several drinks, which left him severely intoxicated and unconscious. He then removed the substitute skeleton before leaving with Sam's skeleton. He understood from Galib that there were no surveillance cameras present at the forensic lab, so he could easily carry out his deed there. Vijay then traveled to a deserted area far from populated areas to burn the skeleton to ashes in order to destroy the proof. The judge chose to free Vijay of all charges after determining that the DNA test results were incongruous. Additionally, Vijay's attorneys petitioned the High Court to keep Vijay away from any further commotion associated with Sam's murder case. Similar to how the movie's plot ended, the main character was found not guilty. Despite knowing the truth, the cops were powerless to stop Vijay as he passed them. Meera and Mahesh, the parents of Taran and Sam, who had to concede defeat once more, were passed by him. Vijay was unable to look them in the eye since, although being aware of his remorse, he had to take these measures in order to keep his family safe. Following the trial, the judge requested a meeting with Taran to address Vijay's case, which the judge was aware was based on a book. Taran simply retorted with his conviction that the police knew the truth but were unable to prove it due to a lack of supporting documentation. It was discovered that Vijay still possessed some of Sam's bones, which he had previously burned to ashes and sent to Mahesh's home along with a note expressing his desire to never experience any more disturbance. Then, out of tradition, Meera and Mahesh scattered their son's ashes into the water. Meera had to accept the truth even if it was still difficult for her to do as a mother. Vijay, who was watching them from a distance, was relieved that he could grant Mahesh's request. Vijay took his family on a vacation at the conclusion of the movie. Vijay claimed that his family was the center of his universe. If his family was in danger, he would be willing to go above and beyond what was required. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.